Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door is finally getting a remake after nearly 20 years of its original release, and fans have been crying tears of joy over this announcement.
Oh my god! I'm so excited! I never thought! We've been dying for just a remaster! Just a remaster!
It looks so good. It looks so good. I can't believe this can't be real.
I can't. I'm actually kind of crying. I actually cried a little bit.
I thought Nintendo forgot about this game.
After enduring a painful slog of mediocre games, one after another for the past decade, as well as tons of drama and backlash and online arguments from fans of the newer games versus fans of the older games, we desperately have needed the Thousand Year Door to be remastered, as it had been fading into obscurity, along with Paper Mario's legacy as a whole, with the game being stranded on the GameCube, Nintendo's third lowest selling system right above the Wii U. With this game and the imminent release of Super Mario Bros. Wonder, and also the Super Mario RPG remaster, it's truly an amazing time to be a Mario fan right now, with hope finally being renewed after many years of blander games inspired by the copy-paste new Super Mario Bros. Series. In this video, I will talk about why we as Mario fans are super hyped for the Thousand Year Door, and why you should be too. If you enjoy the video, please remember to like and subscribe. My name is Zolamite, and let's do this thing. To understand all the hype, we need to take a trip down memory lane and understand what made the series so great in the first place. Paper Mario is a beloved Mario spin-off series that originated on the N64 in 2001 as a spiritual successor to Super Mario RPG on the Super Nintendo, known as Mario's Story in Japan, and it truly was just that, a Mario game revolving around a story with memorable characters, funny dialogue, emotional moments, and a pop-up storybook-style paper aesthetic. It was an RPG that included partners and a turn-based battle system, with both simplicity and complexity. It had action commands allowing for more involved attacks where you must time your button presses to do more damage, or to block incoming enemy attacks and take less damage. These action commands would vary from the simple timed A press for a jump attack to holding your control stick back and releasing it at the right moment to maximize damage for your hammer. Later in the game, you'd be mashing several buttons in quick succession as they appeared on screen to perform a special attack. And battling, like in any RPG, had a straightforward incentive, earning star points to level up and improve your stats, whether it was HP, FP, or BP. The choice was yours. HP made you stronger by raising your max health points, FP raised your flower points, used to perform special abilities in battle, and BP or badge points were to equip more badges which gave you more special abilities. It was a perfect system with great versatility, and we just couldn't get enough of it. Now let's delve into the partners. Each one hosted their own unique abilities and quirks. These abilities ranged from tattling to reveal an enemy's defense and HP, exploding a cracked wall to reveal a secret passage, to turning Mario invisible to evade enemy attacks, or floating across a pit of spikes. They also had their own backstories, serving them as complete party members who join you on your adventure. This was a vital element of classic Paper Mario. Some fan-favorite partners were Goombella, a Goomba college student studying to become an archaeologist, Lady Bo, who is a princess of booze in a fancy mansion, and Koops, who is a sheltered Koopa Troopa with an overprotective clingy girlfriend. These characters breathed new life into the Mario universe, making it more immersive than the typical Super Mario game, focused solely on platforming. There were also badges to be found by exploring the overworld, which could be equipped to gain new abilities in exchange for badge points. These abilities would range from being able to increase your HP, FP, attack, or defense power, to more unique stuff like jumping on an enemy several times in a row until you mistime your A press, or making your hammer attack produce a freaking earthquake. Yeah, this was insanely cool. And lastly, the items. These included your go-to mushroom and life shroom, which would revive you if you lost all your HP, but also offensive items such as the fire flower, ice storm, fright mask, pow block, and a freaking thunderbolt to strike your enemies down by the hand of Zeus. It makes you wonder why Nintendo left it behind for so long. It just boggles my mind. This brings us to the next part. After the 1000-Year Door, Intelligent Systems, the development team of Paper Mario, decided to take the next game in a new direction, which many people believe led to the downfall of the series as a whole, and that game was Super Paper Mario, a 2D platforming-based action-adventure game that moved away from the series' roots, ditching the turn-based battles while still retaining its RPG elements, such as the items, skills, and partners, now in the form of pixels, but only serving as tools for new abilities this time. Despite this, there were cool varied environments not present in any other game, such as a samurai kingdom, a pixelated world with a creepy lizard geek as the boss, the freaking Stone Age, and literal hell itself. And we can't forget the story, of course, which is easily this game's strong suit by far. It's renowned by fans for having the grandest story out of any Mario game to date, featuring a broken-hearted Count Bleck who wants to destroy all worlds with what is essentially the evil Bible, called the Dark Prognosticus, and he creates a void by forcing Peach and Bowser into a wedding to awaken the Chaos Heart. It's later revealed as you progress on that Bleck's name is actually Blumir, and that all he wanted was to marry his beloved Timpani, who was transformed into a pixel by his disapproving father. It's truly a touching tale that'll make you tear up by the time you get to the end of the game, and is what makes it so special. While Super Paper Mario's gameplay may be lacking in some aspects, it certainly makes up for it with its strong story. That, and also the fact that you get to play as not only Luigi and Peach, but also the king of the Koopas himself, Bowser. Yeah, this game really was awesome, even if it wasn't like the previous two entries. But this departure from the original games is arguably what started the decline of the series. Following Super, there were dark times ahead for us. Fans were expecting a full return to the RPG formula with the next Paper Mario, even if it was going to be on the 3DS. Making it the first handheld Paper Mario. And with the E3 2010 preview of the game showing partners and turn-based combat making a comeback, it was slated to be the game that would set things back on track. Unfortunately, we were disappointed to say the least, as we did not get the Paper Mario we wanted. Instead, we got a generic game called Paper Mario Sticker Star, with hardly any story whatsoever. It ditched the interconnected world that the previous games had in favor of a linear world map like the new Super Mario Bros. Games. It was a massive detraction from what Paper Mario was known for, lacking any kind of partners, original locations, and badges. It was riddled with countless generic toads as NPCs, and only one party member who was quite unhelpful and irritating to say the least, not giving much of any hint as to what you needed to do next to progress in the game when you were stuck.
I would call Kirsty a ringer for the most useless party member I've ever seen in a video game. There's always that one weak character that no one uses, but at least even then, that character is usually required for a few moments or can do a move that could theoretically win you a fight. Kirsty has never helped me one bit towards succeeding at anything and might as well not even be there. That door you can't get past to begin chapter 2 without a poison mushroom, she says, "Where's this desert supposed to be? Think it's on the other side?" No!
The focus was now puzzle solving and adventure, and battles that yielded no star points, just coins. Your attacks consisted of consumable items now, which were stickers, and could be found throughout the levels or bought at a shop. This rendered battling almost pointless except for mandatory bosses, and the puzzle solving was cryptic, and even though I kind of enjoyed this game, with it having a banger soundtrack that kept me coming back, I'll admit it's the blandest of the Paper Mario games, and I had to look up walkthroughs on YouTube in order to beat it the first time. The changes made in this game plagued the preceding games, with many of the same issues afterward for years. It only got marginally better in the next game, that being Paper Mario Color Splash for the Wii U, Nintendo's second worst selling console. It at least had significantly better exploration elements, especially with the painting gimmick, as well as more interesting level themes. Some notable ones were a fancy restaurant where you get to fight a steak, the Sunset Express, Plum Park featuring PT Piranha, a Super Mario Bros. 3 level in 2D, a circus in a foggy forest, and also a pirate world with a vortex that leads to a parallel dimension when you'd enter it. I kind of liked this game, as it took a step in the right direction with its more fleshed out and creative level design. They even managed to make a dang paint bucket that accompanies you on your adventure a lovable character. But it was still far from what made Paper Mario so great, especially with its battle system once again consisting of consumable cards that would first have to be selected by scrolling through a deck, painting the card, pressing confirm, flicking it up from the Wii U gamepad, and then you get to attack. It was a tedious process that made battling sluggish. And once again, there was little to no point in fighting regular enemies, as they yielded only paint hammers to increase your max paint, which wasn't necessary to go out of the way for. Fans were super burnt out on Paper Mario by this point, after being deeply disappointed twice now. For some even thrice, considering Super Paper Mario. They'd pretty much given up hope that the series would ever return to its roots. Don't believe me? Have a look at these reactions to the initial reveal of Color Splash.
Next, let's paint the town red, and just about every other color. In the Paper Mario series, we always challenge ourselves to bring something fresh to the action-adventure genre. And this time, in Paper Mario Color Splash, the theme is colors and paint. As such, the game takes place in a colorful paradise called Prism Island. But something is very wrong.
Yeah, dude, you're fucking right, something is very wrong. It's been 20 fucking seconds, and I'm already seeing Paper Mario Sticker Star 2. God fucking damn it.
Prism Island is being drained of its color.
Yeah, you're fucking right. And Paper Mario is being drained of its fucking life as a fucking series.
Next, let's paint the town red, and just about every other color. In the Paper Mario series, we always challenge ourselves to bring something fresh to the action-adventure genre. And this time, in Paper Mario Color Splash, the theme is colors and paint. As such, the game takes place in a colorful paradise called Prism Island. But something is very wrong. Prism Island.
Is it a full game? What is it? Is that all you're gonna do? What is that? That's all you're gonna tell us? Is it a full game, or is it just like a download game? Is it real? Forget the Pokins! I don't care! Is it like poopy? Like all the other Paper Mario games you keep making, or is it real? What? I'm done. Sometimes you hold hope in your heart to help you get from day to day. You have to hold on to that hope. But after a while, you reach a point where that hope can only hurt you, and all you can do is let go and move on. It's better to simply accept that there is no hope so that you can start to heal. Nintendo, you just announced Paper Mario Color Splash, and the hope for a real Paper Mario sequel that I've been holding on to for over a decade, I'm letting it go.
And they were right to believe so, as the next game, The Origami King, still was not a complete return to form. While it did bring back the interconnected world from the first two games, it was still far from perfect, with the game having a flawed battle system that was convoluted and slow to use, requiring you to solve a rotational ring puzzle each turn before you could even attack. It could be argued that even Sticker Star's system was better because of how quick and snappy it was, though I will say that the boss battles were a highlight, and getting to smash the bosses at the end by slamming your controller Donkey Kong Country style was actually quite fun. But disregarding battles, it was a big step in the right direction. Even bringing in some original characters for the first time in years, though it mostly still consisted of Toads. And the partners were a half step, only being present in a few chapters and not having any action commands or abilities in battle. Instead, they auto-attacked each turn. This once again hurt us fans, though there was some hope this time around. It did seem like Intelligent Systems was trying to listen, even if only by a little. There was even an overarching story somewhat similar to Super Paper Mario that had its emotional moments. They made Mario's partner, Olivia, quite a wholesome and dynamic character who was a joy to have around. Also accessories that were kind of like the badges from previous entries, albeit kind of overpowered. This was modern Paper Mario at its finest, pushed to its full potential within the limitations Tanabe and whoever had set. And you know what? Because of that, I enjoyed this game quite a bit. I don't regret playing it at all, but it's still not classic Paper Mario no matter how you slice it. It's missing those crucial aspects that made the first games shine consistently. A lot of the blame for the Paper Mario series' detraction is often pinned on the producer of the games since Super Paper Mario, that being Kensuke Tanabe. He was responsible for most of the changes to the series, and was who started the practice of turning it into a puzzle adventure game, rather than an RPG with a story. Instead of wanting to make a game that is a love letter to the series, he prioritized reinventing the wheel and making new experiences to surprise players. He stated that because of Mario and Luigi's existence, which was a former Mario RPG for handheld systems, there was no need for Paper Mario to be an RPG any longer. This was absurd, since Paper Mario was more grounded and story-based, and had entirely different mechanics and premises than Mario and Luigi, which was more about fast-paced fun. So what if they're both turn-based? The more the merrier. I think the biggest kick in the face, though, has to be that Tanabe went on record to say that Color Splash was designed for kids ages 7 through 10, which goes against Nintendo's philosophy about making games for everyone of all ages. And the fact of the matter is that a majority of Nintendo's audience aren't kids, especially Paper Mario fans, who consist of just a few million. Tanabe was also the producer of another smaller game called Chibi Robo Ziplash, which ruined the Chibi Robo series as a whole, causing it to become generic and dull from being a 2D platformer, with hardly any charm whatsoever. Miyamoto is also thought to be partially to blame, as he is not a fan of stories in Mario games, believing it's a distraction from the gameplay, which is just not always true, especially for Paper Mario, which thrived on its story. It's also known that he told the developers of Sticker Star initially with the beta that their game looked too similar to the Thousand Year Door, so it was scrapped and turned into the lackluster game that we know today.
One day, the evil Shigeru Miyamoto burst into the room and said, "This game looks too good. Take out the story, take out the partners, make every character a toad, make it bland and boring, and remove all incentive for battling, thus rendering combat worthless." And the poor employees at Intelligent Systems complied, for the Dark Lord Shiggy is a cruel and powerful wizard, and can turn them into newts or curse their families or garnish their salaries. And thus, Nintendo delivered unto us the cursed game that is Paper Mario Sticker Star.
Of course, we don't know the complete truth, but either way it seems like the higher-ups made a decision that disregarded the fans and our desires for the franchise, and pushed forward with their innovative ideals. But then in 2019, Alpha Dream, the developer of the Mario and Luigi series, went bankrupt, and Intelligent Systems still continued to make a somewhat generic Paper Mario, which was the Origami King. So there was more to it than just trying to set Paper Mario apart from Mario and Luigi. There was also a Club Nintendo survey for Super Paper Mario, which gathered data that less than 1% said they enjoyed the story of the game. Instead, people praised the flipping between 2D and 3D mechanic for being unique. But of course that was flawed data, considering hardly any true fans of the series voted on that survey to begin with. Not having a traditional game after fans begging for one for over a decade hurt people in more ways than one. Just imagine that you're a kid and you're asking your parent for a birthday present, but year after year they never get you what you really want. It's always something else, something you don't enjoy as much, like a plain deck of cards. Your parents used to get you awesome gifts consisting of entire Lego sets and race car tracks, but not anymore. That's the sentiment that has gripped the Paper Mario community. Over a decade without the game we've longed for, and it's left a profound mark. It's reached the point where people have made their own entire Paper Mario style games. Some of these include Bug Fables and the Outbound Ghost. Bug Fables is an especially astounding game, managing to make even more complex mechanics than those introduced in the Thousand-Year Door, and deeper characters with their own lore and quests to complete relating to their origins. If you like Paper Mario, then you'll love Bug Fables, as I sure as heck did. But not everyone has felt the same. There's been a split in the community between fans of the old games and fans of the newer games. And this split has been so apparent that even the legendary Moist Critical himself made a video surrounding this topic a couple years back.
This is the most hostile comment section on YouTube, and I feel like I can say with a high degree of certainty that this is the longest argument ever in a YouTube comment section, lasting an entire year and spanning roughly 500 some replies. Now, with this kind of anger, you would expect the video to be some kind of politically charged video, or maybe somebody said anime should be illegal or that lollies are a crime. But what if I told you that the video that all of this is taking place on, the most aggressive comment thread on YouTube, was actually on a Paper Mario song? This thing's longer than the fucking Bible, honestly.
This situation has just gotten so out of hand, and it's been devastating to see a once harmoniously happy community become so tarnished over the years. I really can't wait for the ongoing unrest to finally come to a peaceful end with the release of the Thousand-Year Door for the Switch, so that way younger fans can experience Paper Mario at its peak once and for all, and understand our love for it. This game is arguably the best out of the first two Paper Marios, even though I personally favor the original with its epic scale and high stakes. This game has phenomenal RPG elements, an incredible badge system, unique environments, a cool original plot, and many new enemy types and bosses, as well as a more challenging difficulty. I recall dying in just the prologue in my first playthrough, which was quite shocking, but it made me rethink my strategy and caused me to have more fun as a result, instead of just doing what I already knew. And battles feel super rewarding, whether it be a regular enemy or a boss, it keeps you alert and thinking. The overall setting of this game is Rogueport, a rundown harbor with crime rampant on the streets and a struggling economy, which is quite unconventional for Mario standards, being usually centered around more lively grassy plains. Let's also not forget about the literal noose that's smack in the middle of town, and this is rated E for everyone, by the way. It's just a super special game with so much love and care put into it, with top-notch writing that's hilarious but also gets deep and keeps you invested in the game world. And each chapter varies, from traversing a foreboding fortress with a deadly dragon lurking within, who gobbles up the freaking audience to regenerate HP, to more epic stuff like being part of a battle tournament, held on a floating amusement park, or visiting a gloomy village that has been cursed with all its residents turning into pigs. You go through 8 amazingly fun and immersive chapters throughout the entire game, and it will keep you hooked until the very end. Besides the quality of the game though, we need to talk about how freaking hard it's become just to get your hands on on a copy of the original Thousand Year Door for GameCube. If you're a kid and don't have access to an emulator, then it's almost impossible to get this game without spending at least $170. And that doesn't even include the GameCube memory card and controller that you would need, which would cost you another $40 or more. And you'd better hope that you have a Wii to be able to play it through its backwards compatibility. Otherwise, you'll have to pay even more just to play the single game. I was super lucky to have bought it several years back for only $40 on Amazon, as I had no idea that the prices for this game would skyrocket. So yeah, we really need this game on the Switch. The Thousand Year Door being remastered along with Super Mario RPG opens the door wide for new Paper Mario games in the style of the classics. If these games sell well, then it's likely Nintendo will take notice and double down on the format, thinking, wow, our fans really love story-driven Mario RPGs. We should make more. This could effectively cause a revival for the series, and will also allow the younger generation to experience the same kind of fun we older fans had growing up. And seeing other people have that same fun makes us happy, and feel more understood. I'm sure you all know that feeling when you want to enjoy something you love with a friend, but they're just not into it and you're left enjoying that hobby by yourself. That's what we Paper Mario fans have been going through for a long time. And it's been a lonely road. Hopefully we will finally be able to experience this game together in pure happiness again, like the good old days, and cherish the glorious memories that Paper Mario will bring us next year. So as you can see, us fans have seriously been through a lot over the years. It's no wonder why we're so excited about the remaster of Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door. As of now, this remake is looking extremely promising and clearly has a ton of love put into it, having little to no trace of the recent Paper Mario games, other than the paper aesthetic of the world, which is fine. It's a remarkably faithful remake with much better graphics, so much so that I'm actually convinced we might be going back to the original Paper Mario formula. Like, I don't know if you noticed, but they don't even have the white outlines anymore in the remake, something lots of fans disliked about the newer games. How heavily they leaned into the paper aesthetic instead of making a great game. Everything here lines up with our demands, down to the last detail, and that shows just how much care was put into this. I just can't wait to play it next year. Also, it's important to notice that Nintendo is marketing this like a new game, not a remaster, since the title doesn't even have Remake or HD in it. This means it's almost certain that this game will bring back the Paper Mario we came to love all those years ago. From the bottom of my heart, thank you, Nintendo, for finally listening to our cries and desires. I can only beg that you don't stop listening to our feedback and that you continue to improve your games. Thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe if you enjoyed my video, and if you made it to the end, then you're awesome. This was a super fun passion project that made me get pretty emotional as a Paper Mario fan, so your feedback is appreciated. More videos are on the way soon, so stay tuned. Peace guys, Zolamite out.